Hello everybody, Danny and Wanda back from Pecan Grove. We out here melting today at 101 degrees. It is hay weather. I mean, you gotta get the hay when you gotta make hay when the sun's shining, as the old expression goes. We have had the blessing of having two of our neighbors to allow us to have their fields to cut for hay, and we're very thankful for them. Mr. Terry and Mr. Stan let us have their fields to cut. Now, when I cut Mr. Terry's, we had a lot of problems with the baler. It kept shearing bolts and shearing bolts and shearing bolts. So after shearing like 40 bolts on his field in the Ibex TX31 hay baler, I eventually figured out how to fix it, and it gave me no more trouble once I did that. While we were baling the field, I actually used the Ibex TX51 hay rake to rake the hay with. I had an old 165 drum mower, which was way too big for my tractor that I had, but it worked. We've had it for quite a while and we've been using it. We've cut several fields with it, not a problem. Was able to do that, and I didn't get a lot of footage on Mr. Terry's field because Ms. Wanda had had some oral surgery done on her mouth and was kind of incapacitated, I guess you would say, at the time. So her daughter, Ms. Amy, done some videoing for us, and I'd like to thank Amy for doing that. She came out and was gracious to help, do that for us while Ms. Wanda was down. But then fast forward a couple of weeks because of weather issues. Well, it got to be good weather. Mr. Stansfield got ready to cut. So I jumped in there with old drum mower, and I was just a Cadillacing along because it's a pretty good sized field. Get about halfway through it in 100-degree temperature right there, and the belts broke on the drum mower. Well, when that happened, I had to fall back on my old reliable 1950 model Cub with a number 22 sickle bar on it. And I think Mr. Stan got as much joy out of watching me cut that field with that thing as I love operating it. The only issue is it was 100 degrees that day, and I'm sitting out there in the bald open heat in the middle of a field. But I had to get it done, and we got it cut. And then the screaming hot weather like we got right now, it didn't take but like a day and a half for it to all dry. And came in there and got it all raked up and hooked up the Ibex TX31 hay baler and went out there and went to baling. Well, Mr. Chris showed up and Mr. Tim showed up and his wife Heidi, and we didn't get a lot of video on because Ms. Wanda and Heidi spent most of their time sitting around talking. But I want to thank Mr. Chris and thank Mr. Tim, because as I baled the hay, I think we baled right at 90 bales out of that field. Wonderful weather for doing it, but it was hot. And Mr. Tim and Mr. Chris picked it all up out of the fields for me while I was baling it, brought it up here and stacked it out here in front of, in my hay barn out here. And I want to thank them for doing that, because if it hadn't been for them, I don't know what we'd have done that day, because it was just bad hot. And Ms. Wanda and Ms. Heidi got to spend some time together, which that was a good thing. We got a little bit of footage on it. Well guys, as usual, the modern equipment has let me down. The belts broke on my cutter, so I'm going to have to go back and try to see if I can get the old farm off. See if we can finish the field with it. Got to do what you got to do. maybe a little footage of this one while I was doing this one right here. This is my dream fields here, guys. I mean, I've always dreamed of having beautiful hay fields, and these fields are almost weed free. I spent the first 2 years of us buying this property here going through these fields by hand, taking all the weeds out of it before they went to seed. And the old bull thistles, I need to thank Miss Vicky, because Miss Vicky gave me it's called a grandpa's weeder. You push it in the ground and pull it over. And I went through this field, and I bet you, I'm not exaggerating, I probably took 2,000 bull thistles out of this field here. And knock on wood, I might find an occasional one out there somewhere, but it's very rare now. And I noticed when I cut it this time, I saw 3 sickle pods that had came up, but I cut them before they ever bloomed. So that was the only 3 weeds I saw in the whole field, and I was very thankful for that. So it's not necessary to spray all these chemicals on these fields if you're just resilient and just get out there and take care of the weed issue, you know, and don't break the soil up. Once you start tilling up the soil now, there's gonna be some weeds come up, but like it is, we got just nothing but grass there. Okay, when I got through cutting Mr. Stan's field, remember I told y'all the belts on my 165 big drum cutter broke, and you can't buy those belts here. You have to order them, and you have to order a matched set. Well, the weather was conducive for me being able to cut this here, so I bit the bullet, and I went ahead and went to Ibex, and I talked to Mr. John up at Tractor Tools Direct, and I went ahead and ordered I believe it's a 48-inch drum cutter for this LX 2610 cab tractor here, because that's what it took for that cab tractor to be able to handle that drum cutter. Now, it's a direct drive. There's no belts on it anywhere. That thing mowed this field out here. It was like a dream. I mean, I love that cutter. I mean, guys, I flew through this field with that cutter, you know, as fast as I could go with it, and it worked like a charm. I have no quarrels with that thing whatsoever. I mean, it was good. Now, if you didn't see the video of me putting that together and uncrating it and putting it together, go back and watch the video, and you'll see with the drum cutter that I'm talking about that we use from Ibex. So right now I have the Ibex drum cutter, the 48-inch drum cutter. I have the T51 hay rake and the TX31 hay baler. Now that I have all 3 pieces of equipment, I am really pleased with them after I worked the kinks out, because there were some kinks with the hay baler and there were some kinks with the rake. I haven't had any with the cutter yet, but stay with us and you're going to see a video, and I'm going to explain to y'all what we had to do to work the kinks out of everything. Thank you guys from Pecan Grove.